Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Morning Coffee Review, MCR. Jason Artley here, back in the house, joined with my friend Michael Achave. It's good to be back. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm excited for you to be back in the office finally. Even though I saw you yesterday, but back on MCR. We had some special guests in the interim as you were dearly awaiting your return. I was going to say the other word, but that's not true because you're actually here, but you're just on sabbatical and enjoying your time off. Well, ado, we have a sabbatical program here that once you get 6 years here at ATG, you get to take a month off paid. And Jason is refreshed, rebranded, and back in the seat and back at MCR to tell us all about it. But there are some other things to talk about. Definitely want to talk about Unbound. There was a comment as well from David in the LinkedIn post, and I didn't want to post it there, but I'll give you an update on the portal because I'm going to be having a demo on that here shortly this week. I think it's this week, but I'll look. But also AU and what that's going to look like. And I have some theories. But anyways, Jason, welcome back. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing.
How was your
vacation?
vacation?
Doing really good. I'm doing really good. So as we were chatting before we started, last time I saw Michael, we were in person in Little Rock, and I left that day with knowing that my sabbatical was coming. So I left my computer in my backpack for a full 30 days. Felt pretty good to do.
25 days.
Whatever. It was a lot of days. But instead, I packed up my bicycle. I flew to Frankfurt, Germany, and I reassembled my bicycle in the airport, and then I took off. And I had 9 days basically to make it to Amsterdam.
And I'm going to stop you everywhere we go through this because you shipped your bike. How was that experience?
I just put it in a cardboard bike box and checked it as my luggage. So free to do for most airlines.
So you just pulled off the fork and handlebars,
pedals, front wheel, packaged it together, put a couple of my camping bags in there. And then as long as the dimensions are below your airline's acceptable thing and the weight. So my weight limit was 50 pounds and I had some extra stuff in my box. So as I'm checking into the airport at 3:45 in the morning, I put it on the scale and it was 51 pounds. And I was like, oh, great. I'm going to open up the box, pull out my bike lock and a couple little things, put it back in the box. It was fine. And then they take it back. TSA opens the box again.
Yep, they tag it.
Yeah. And then, I made sure there was an air tag hidden in there so I could check on it, make sure it was on the plane with me. And then, flew to Frankfurt. It had a little layover in DFW, and then it's like a 10.5-hour flight to Frankfurt.
Direct from DFW?
Yeah, and nice. It was a nice flight. I mean, American Airlines food was decent. Slept a little bit, and then assembled my bike.
10-hour flight. What'd you do on a 10-hour flight? Because remember, I'm going to Japan soon. I'm kind of overanalyzing what to do on an 8-hour flight. It's been a while since I think when I went to Europe, it was 2016 was the last time I traveled abroad. Mm-hmm. And that was even only 8 hours because we flew to, every time I've gone to Europe, it's either been to like from Boston, so it's only a 6-hour flight. So you fly to Boston and you fly out. And then I flew to Canada last time and then flew to Iceland and then into the UK.
I watched a few movies. I slept a little bit. And that was it. So get an eye mask.
Recommend an iPad? Bag?
No.
Laptop?
No, just let the in-screen entertainment. I mean, big plane like that's going to have a screen and free movies. So I watched a few things and slept a little bit. Didn't sleep as much because I was excited about what was going to happen. Because when I landed in Frankfurt, it was like 9:30 in the morning. And I knew I had to cover so much ground the first day. So I didn't plan where I was sleeping every day. I didn't plan my stops for the day. I was just like, I have to make it to Amsterdam in 9 days. So the way that I had broken it down was like, as long as I do 40 miles a day, I'm all right. But the first day I have to do at least 18. That's going to make it easy. And I was riding and I was having so much fun. And I wasn't paying attention to mileage. And I was just like, I'm in Germany riding my bike. And then I was like, oh, well, I've done 40 miles the first day. I'm gonna go ahead and camp, and I found sweet campground. Camped.
Did you have to like open your phone and search for campgrounds, or you rode around looking for campgrounds? Like
I opened up my phone. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm over here a planner. Like you just went in.
Yeah, I know there's campgrounds and hotels everywhere.
Are there really?
Yeah, like camping's a big deal over there. And so the first, and I love to camp. I love camping. I love camping away from campgrounds, but I wanted to try a German campground because I was told that everyone is going to have beer and ice cream. And I was like, really? Let's find out. So the first one I go to was a treat. Not only did they have showers and laundromat and a kitchen for you to wash up your stuff, they had a full-on restaurant with beer and ice cream and food that overlooked the Rhine River in this little beer garden. And it was just awesome. So I got there, got my campsite, met another bike tourist who was going an opposite direction of me. And I got set up, and he's like, "You want to go have dinner?" Sure. So we went and we talked bikes, and we talked American politics. We talked about, which we're going to talk a little bit more about here in a minute. We talked about...
You know, it's funny, when we went in 2016, because you brought that up in the thing, and that's when the current administration was in then as well, and that's everyone asked the same question.
Yeah.
Same thing that happened to you happened to us. It's everyone's asking about how American politics are going to us when we were traveling abroad. Yeah. But anyways, keep going. Is the irony in it because it's the same administration that you when in 2016 for when you were there. Yeah.
So it was like, oh, you're American, so you like Trump. It's like, not how are you, who are you, what's your name? It was just like that. But had a beautiful meal, went camping the next day, rode on to Koblenz, and I'd stop and I'd look at things because things are different. There was a day that I went without using my GPS. I was really only following the compass. Like, as long as I'm going west or northwest.
You had no map.
I had access to a map. I do have a Garmin device on my bike with a map, but I didn't really load the route because everything's so well signed. I'm following.
I know. This is so confusing to me because it's so foreign. You didn't have like a map that you were like, I'm gonna do this.
No.
Like you just were on your bike.
Yeah.
And you know German, which I had no idea you need German. Can you read signs?
Enough, yeah. Anything that I didn't know, I got Google Translate. Which you're gonna
how
need.
Good is Google? Yeah, I'm gonna need that in Japan. I know.
and I know it works really well for Japanese because I had that Japanese car where everything was in Japanese, and I would use it to read, what the fuses are. But
so is this an app?
Yeah, Google Translate. Okay. Start playing with it right now. But the route I took was called Eurovelo 15. It's like I-10, right? There's a whole network of European bicycle highways, like literally bicycle highways, and as long as I followed the sign for Eurovelo 15, I knew I was in the right direction. And it's following the Rhine River.
There's like an
so as
actual
long as I don't...
highway that's...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a 8-foot bike lane.
Yeah.
Right? And I never went more than like a half hour without seeing another cyclist. Like most of the time there was just plenty of bike traffic, other bike tourists, lots of, families and stuff, people cruising around on e-bikes. It was crazy.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah. It's amazing. Went through, saw a bunch of castles, followed the Rhine River, got up to, camped 5 nights. So that was 3 nights in Germany, 2 nights in the Netherlands. Got hotels for 4 nights.
Let's do this because I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, should I pull up a map?
I'm gonna, yeah. Or do you want to do it, or
well, I'm gonna share my screen in a minute anyway, because we got stuff to talk about other than my little adventure here. So let me fire this up. Ooh, see if I remember how to do my little fancy zones thing. There we go. Because I got to remember to share my screen the right way. It was funny. Like, I haven't used a mouse in so long. There we go. Oops. There we go. Now we can see my Google Earth, Google Maps. So yeah, I flew from Minnesota down to Dallas, and then all the way across the ocean did get to peek out the window and see some other stuff, but popped over here into Frankfurt, landed at the airport, assembled my bike, and then made it over to the Rhine River. So the route, like literally.
So that's the Rhine River right there?
Yeah, it's a bike route. Goes all along the river, all the way to, well, it starts down in Switzerland.
It's very washed river, it looks like.
Yeah, it was really, really, really neat.
It wasn't cleaned? Like the water wasn't, see how it transitions? There's a transition it looks like right here. Up there by the W like right there.
Panels of the aerial photo though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the first day, so I flew into the airport and then rode to Bingen. I think I camped over here somewhere, and then just followed the river. Second night I camped, I think it was north of Koblenz. Yeah, it was like up here when I camped, and then went through Koblenz. It was really busy. I had a hard time finding a hotel, and I ended up getting a hotel like way over here. And by the time I got there, they're like, "Oh, sorry, your room's not available." I'm like, "Oh, great." So then I ended up camping.
So what do you mean you were like on an app? Were you walking around?
Went to, I'd wait till lunchtime. And I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling bad. I end up feeling good every day. But I was like, I'm going to do another 40 miles today. So what's in 40 miles? Right? So then I'd look for a hotel either on an app or a camping thing. And then just kept on riding. So followed that. And then up here north, so in between this area, basically from Koblenz to Bingen, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's all protected and whatever. And there's freaking castles everywhere. So like there's a castle, there's a castle, there's a castle. And I just kept flipping out because you'd be riding your bike and then there's a castle. And like that just doesn't happen here in America. So I rode all the way up here, and then I went through Bonn and Cologne. So Bonn is where Beethoven was born. So I went and saw Beethoven's house. And then Cologne, I stayed here for the night. Went to that restaurant, brewery that Anthony Bourdain went to. Had some Kolsch beer. It was delightful. Had some good food. And then the next day I went to past Dusseldorf, stopped and looked at the Frank Gehry apartments, which are right here. They're super wild. And then I went, it then becomes kind of a blur. Past Duisburg, gets a little bit more industrial, but I thought it was cool. And then I made it.
And it's just the same river that you're just following.
Yeah, basically.
That's the bike path, yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then I knew I wanted to stay here in Emmerich. So this is basically the last town before you cross. Here's the border, this little white line, the border into the Netherlands. I wanted to stay here because I knew that there'd be a cool sign. So I stayed over here. There's a little campground.
Camping?
Yeah. And then I went back.
Were they all as nice as that first one that you talked to us
No,
about?
This one was clean, but there was no restaurant. There was no supplies. There was another one I went to that had like woodstone pizza and like other food. It was just incredible. But yeah, then I went out of my way, went back over this cool river, met this dude who was just starting his bike tour. So he lived in this town. I'm crossing over the river. He's crossing over the river. He's like, I'm just getting started. I started 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, good luck to you. Where are you headed? He's like, oh, I'm going to go to the south of Spain. I'm on a mini sabbatical. I'll be gone for 6 weeks. And I was just like, man.
Yeah, they have a
mini sabbatical. But yeah, we chatted for a little bit, shook his hand.
Literally biked all the way to Spain.
Yeah. And I was jealous. But yeah, then I cruised back over, stopped here in Milligen, and this is where things got weird. So I did take a picture of the border. There's just a little sign. There's no passport control or anything. And then started riding through these towns. The signage changed. I don't understand Dutch at all. So I definitely lost my, I can fake my way through some German, but I couldn't do anything in Dutch. So I was like, whatever. But I was fine. But I went like this whole day without even like following a map because I got the Rhine. I've got bike routes. There's freaking signs everywhere. So it's just like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, whatever. And okay, I'll just hop on a bike and just ride. Everybody was so bike friendly, and like everybody gave you like I had zero issues with cars.
English.
I got by with English. It was just incredible. So I had perfect weather. But yeah, I rode and then I was like, I'm covering way too much ground. So I planned on doing the 40 miles a day. I ended up doing like 70, 75. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to be at my destination too early. So I ended up going up to Arnhem. And this stretch between Arnhem and Utrecht was my favorite. It's just forested and you're through the trees. And I was cruising around, found this cool little war bunker. And I'd just stop and look around. Or I'd stop at a beer garden or a little cafe.
There's a lot.
So I got up here and
World
I was
War
like, well,
I and World War II history.
Yeah,
that's what I love about it.
And I'm like, I'm too early to go to Amsterdam because I knew I had a flight on Thursday. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go down here.
And what day is it when you're there?
I think I probably made it here on Monday.
And you could have made it to Amsterdam that same day.
Yeah.
How far is that?
This is probably like 40 miles. So I was like, I got more time. I'm going to go to Rotterdam. So I ended up going down here, stayed at this cool little hotel, went to Rotterdam, then went to The Hague, and then went to the beach, therefore officially crossing the entire Netherlands on my bicycle, which was pretty cool. Found this amazing campground up here, and then went to Amsterdam for a night, walked around, had pickled herring, and then got up in the morning, went to the airport, packed up my bike, hopped on a plane, and that was it. But it was a really good time. I met some great people. I had some amazing food, had some amazing beer, had good weather. Bike was fine, body was fine. I was really happy with the whole experience, took some great pictures. But it made me think a lot about things, right? You get a lot of alone time and a lot of what I call screen time, windshield time, but without a windshield. And I was geeking out on architecture, geeking out on engineering, the infrastructure. Prior to me working here, I spent a lot of time with bike ped advocacy stuff and trail groups and DOT stuff, for bike ped stuff. And to be in the land of bike friendliness blew my mind. Like the infrastructure, the people, the adoption of it. Like I stopped at a hardware store and there's moms with their kids, no helmets, just on a bike. And like, this is what we do. It's normal. I saw no cars.
How different that is for us.
Yeah. I saw no full-size trucks. I saw no giant SUVs. I saw just people out enjoying life, and it was just like nothing. Even though they're relying on their bicycles for groceries and work, they're still having fun on a bike, and it was really refreshing. But I spent some time absolutely flipping out, especially over in this area, where I was driving through these little villages, and you'd see a sign on the door like established in 1400s or 1552 or whatever else, and you're like, that's way older than my whole country. It was just incredible. So highly recommend it. I was telling Michael, I came in under budget. You don't have to tip here. Food's reasonable. Beer's reasonable. Like there was nothing that was insanely expensive except gas, right? If you had a car, it's going to cost you quite a bit, but to get around on a bike was super easy. I didn't take a train, but doing research for a future trip, it's pretty darn cheap.
The trains are super cheap, yeah.
But beautiful part of the world. Really, really enjoyed it. Would love to do it again. And I'm super, super, super thankful to ATG for having a sabbatical program because I've done more than 6 years at other firms and never got this sort of, reward. And it feels pretty special. So I had a good time. Thanks for holding down the fort for me. Would do it again for sure.
Would you do longer?
I would totally do longer. And I didn't take any rest days. So the shortest day I had was like 28 miles. Probably would have taken a rest day, would have explored a little bit more, but I covered a lot of ground and I was just having fun. Like I felt good. Didn't feel like I needed a break or anything. And if I did, I just stopped and had one. But yeah, I would like to check out Spain and Portugal.
So how many miles was that?
I ended up doing a little over 450. So not too bad. And that's a fully loaded touring bike, so that felt pretty good too.
Does this touring bike have like assisted pedaling or no?
No. It's just a steel American-made touring bike with bags on it and no motor, just me. I do have an e-bike, but I didn't bring it. But yeah, good times. But yeah,
so awesome.
Made me think a lot about what's going on here. And I was thinking about this episode because I knew that I had missed a topic before I left. So we're going to segue now to more American politics, as I mentioned, and how it relates to Bluebeam. I'm going to tie the whole room together. But first, let's talk about AU. So We're back here, Tennessee, Nashville, AU. So part of the sabbatical program that we have here is that they disconnect you. They change your password. You can't get into Teams. You can't get into email. Well, I had submitted some classes to AU, and they only give you a couple days. So they tell you if you get in and if you're not. And if you get in, you only have a couple days to respond. And I was like, well, that's why I need to keep my email address or my email, because I felt pretty damn confident on the classes I put in. I put in some serious thought, some serious effort, some classes that, like, the most effort I've ever put into AU, and I got nothing. And looking around LinkedIn and some other folks, they got nothing too.
I noticed a stark, not a lot of posting of submittals in general, because typically I'll also see my feed post up of the decline, like didn't get accepted. Yeah. So my theory was that there wasn't a lot of submissions also.
Not the
people
case.
Because people aren't going.
There was tons of submissions, and maybe too many because AI and ChatGPT, and there are some folks who made ChatGPTs specifically for AU submittals. So I'm guessing they had just tons of them. But there's people that I know, respect, people who have taught many times before, didn't get in. So the theory is, since they're moving it to Nashville, it's a much smaller venue, and they're not going to have 800 classes. They're going to have less. I don't know.
Yeah, last year there was like 690, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Tells me either it's going to be less classes or it's going to be more Autodesk teaching, because last year the ratio of Autodesk teaching was like 45%. Or
they tried that in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, not going to be speaking at AU. You're not going to be speaking at AU. That's okay.
How do you know I didn't get accepted, Jason?
Because only one person at ATG did get accepted, which is shocking to me.
I submitted 3. I felt the same as you. I submitted specifically for what their innovation was around Tandem. So all my courses were submitted towards Tandem, and I totally was kicking myself in the head after I saw the declines come through, and I should have not pigeonholed myself. So yes, as always, whenever you submit, don't give yourself too much grief. There's always next year. So
yeah, I wasn't too upset with it. I was actually a little bit relieved because I know it's a lot of work, and I already know that September's going to be busy because we've got Unbound.
Yes, so let's talk about that. So I submitted 2 classes.
Going away from Nashville, going over here to Washington, D.C. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I submitted 2 classes, and they were not accepted also. However, did you see the emails come through on what we're doing?
I did.
Okay, so I'll let you talk about it.
No, I didn't read them all. So you give me the whole cliff notes.
Okay, so we did not get accepted for the classes that we submitted for Unbound, which is okay. Jason and I were going to be there anyways to support all of you and also say hi to everybody in person. We love going to the Unbound, previously known as XCon. So ATG will have a representation there. Jason and I will be there.
Right here.
Yes. And to add to that, since we are Sapphire partners with
Bluebeam.
folks at Bluebeam, and they also tune in sometimes to MCR, they wanted us to host a live MCR there.
That's right. A live MCR is going to happen Washington, D.C. at the end of September.
Yes.
Oh,
and
boy.
We are going to have some pretty stellar swag. So I've already been talking with Whitney about this, Jason. So be prepared if you are going. And if you are not, guess what? As always, we'll bring back competitions for swag. But if you want swag in person, yes, we will have it there. So if you are going, we will be doing MCR live. We do want to talk to folks like you on MCR live. So we got to iron out a lot of planning for this, which we haven't done any, but we will, and we'll see you all there. And if we're going to have people live in terms of you all coming up and having conversations with us, we'll figure it all out, but that's the plan.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. We've got some planning to do. We've got some fun stuff coming along. So follow along with us. We hope to see you there. I believe our coupon code is still live. Unbound ATG saves you 20%. And yeah, the classes will be listed soon. It's going to be a good time. Washington, D.C., which eases my segue a little bit. So I mentioned one of the things that I wanted to talk about before I left, and one of the things that was on my mind.
Can I bring up the portal thing or your thing? You go.
I'm going to bring up my thing, then we'll do the portal thing.
Okay.
Since I'm already in Washington, D.C. So just down the street from where we're going to be for Unbound, over here in the White House and the U.S. Capitol, things have been happening, right? It doesn't matter what corner of the world you're in, things are happening in this little stretch here that are unique and
I didn't realize, I don't think
exciting.
I've ever looked at the map to understand what is all in one area. The National Museum, you got the White House.
Oh yeah, you
got the Lincoln Memorial.
Right?
No, I've never been.
We're going to stretch out our trip, and I'm going to give you the tour because I freaking love D.C.
Yeah,
I was here last year and had such a wonderful time. But yeah, in this building, there was a presidential memorandum. So I'm not going to pick a side here. I'm just going to pull up some facts.
Okay.
Right? In this administration, more has been done through executive order and memorandum and just kind of leaving these guys out of it. Hey, things need to get done, right? But one thing in particular that came out on April 15th, tax day, affects what we do, affects what you all do, affects a lot of things around us for the better, right? I was excited for this one.
What is it?
So April 15th, you can find it here, whitehouse.gov. There's a presidential memoranda about updating permitting technology for the 21st century.
Oh, right? This is the thing you talked to me about before you went on vacation. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, digitization, making things faster. We've all heard of government taking forever to go through and the permits and talking about rebuilding California, and it takes forever to get things through and whatever else. This delay, blah, 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 effectively causing significant delay to important infrastructure projects that impact our economic well-being. I 100% agree with this, right? If you've spent any time dealing with submittals and government processes like I have in the past, it does take forever. But look at this. First line item, eliminate the use of paper-based application and review processes. What do we talk about a lot here on MCR, Michael? Could it be getting rid of paper? Could it be PDF workflows? Could it be things like that?
It's funny that the way of doing this isn't from like a climate sustainability thing. It's from an efficiency thing, which is eliminating application, handwritten notes, emailing through transmittal, so that you have a portable document format that is predominantly used. Is this in effect now, or is this just a memorandum that was
in effect now? So this memo
has this rippled out yet, though?
Yeah,
I feel like people.
I'm still getting there.
Yeah, you know me.
45 days of the date of this memorandum. So that date has come and gone already. chairman of the Council on Environmental Quality, blah, 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 blah. You can read all this. It's pretty easy to find. But I pulled up a couple other sites here. So within 15 days, the chairman of CEQ shall establish and lead a permitting innovation center that will design and test prototype tools, right? So very simple memo. Let's make things efficient, more effective, get rid of paper. Cool. Well, it went to the chairman of the CEQ and they came up with this, right? Now I kind of skipped ahead a little bit. The report, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to number 2, workflow automation. Automating things. This has been a theme of what we've been talking about on MCR for the past 4 years, right? Getting more effective, getting more efficient, whatever else. And then digital first documents. Yep. Right? Getting rid of the stuff. Structured and readily usable data. Traditional document form. Like, this is huge because it's going to force everybody downstream of the government.
Well, on top. One thing mentioned agency is structured data packages. Well,
structured.
Yeah,
standard format, metadata. You know, all this stuff, minimizing timeline security. So you can download the full term permitting technology action plan here, which is this guy, right? This goes a little deeper, right? It's going to talk about
that just came out. Scroll up.
Yeah. A couple days ago. So this was within the 45 days that the memo said, right? Actually to the T.
Yep.
So good job. Government hit a deadline. But yeah, if you're looking at all this, talk more about the memo, links back and forth. Fragmented data management and outdated technology. These are all things that we've talked about, whether you use an ACC, Bluebeam Studio, Ignite, whatever. Fragmented data management is a big deal, especially on the government side. So they're talking about these things, getting rid of paper. I'm obviously going quick here. Business process modernization. This is what my team does a lot, working with civil design firms to figure out if they're using the right techniques. Templates are okay. This is a big part of what we do here at ATG. We can help you with this, but this is the government telling the government that, hey, you guys got to do this too, which is going to hopefully, with the greatest amount of optimism I have, spearhead a turning point of like, okay, now is the time, because if government's doing it, we should be doing it too, right? Workflow automation. It
doesn't say a submittal process though. It just says these are kind of guidelines.
Yeah, and I hate that I'm using a PDF through a web browser, but I
would have liked some direction of this is what you need to institute. This is what we're instituting. On all submittal processes.
It's getting there. You know, when you start reading it all. But minimum functional requirements. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this word. Oh. So, you know about me. I love GIS. I love maps. I love what can be done. And here's the government telling you your minimum functional requirements are that you have GIS analysis tools. Holy cow. This is a big deal. Right? Because a lot of agencies who've been on the fence about GIS, you have to have it. Is that how minimum requirements? Sweet. So this is going to cause a big change for all of our industries. Architecture. I mean, everything involves permitting. It involves getting approvals. It involves certain aspects of minimum submittal requirements. There we go. So common agency services. It's going to be easier.
Whenever possible, CFQ encourages agencies to jointly develop tools, shared code base, and configuration layers. But there are no layers anymore. But okay, that's fine. I'll give them a pass.
Well, not just, they're not talking about AutoCAD layers, but, you know, So yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to read. I'm going pretty fast through here. You can read this, but it's not a 1,000-page document. But talking about APIs, talking about things. So with our time remaining, let's talk about APIs. Let's talk about portals. Let's talk about Prime and where that's going, right? I know we've talked about this before. I'm going to continue scrolling through this till we get to the bottom because it's not that big. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Talked about the ATG, or the ATG, the GIS. ATG and GIS, we go well together. Look us up. Yeah, shapefiles, PDF. The current document results packaging into a PDF or similar static file format. Blah, 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 blah. So good stuff. Reading through here. So APIs. What's an API, Michael?
I don't even know what the acronym stands for. What application portal something? API definition.
I don't know.
I just know what it does. An application programming interface. Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, Bluebeam is going to be launching their, well, you can right now. So if you do have a request to connect to their APIs as partners, we have first of access, and they've of course let top echelon business companies do that as well. So like things like Procore, that nature. Of course, Bluebeam is big partnership with Procore too from their initial integration. So they've connected APIs through that interface. So you can go through and create connections through one of the folks there over at Bluebeam. But we can also too. So if you ever have any third-party applications that you want developed through an API connection, we can do that here at ATG all day long. We do have a development team. But they're going to launch APIs and they've already pulled them out of essentially Studio Prime, which was the predecessor. It's still available right now. You can still you can't purchase it, right? You just have access to it. I think the
Correct.
Purchase expired. You can renew through the end of the year if you've already had it. But the adverse part was that you had not just the API connections to develop integrations to Studio. That's the predominantly used method for the integration, meaning you stored your PDFs in some type of cloud server like SharePoint or Procore, right? Or Newforma, these PDF storage solutions. You didn't want to have to upload since Studio natively in Bluebeam has a different AWS storage solution, right? So what they did is they allowed you to integrate into both of those solutions. You're going to talk through this.
So these are the new integrations, the new ones. So your old ones are going to sort of go away. These are the new ones. So there are featured ones for ACC. A lot of these I haven't heard of. PSNA, Newforma, iWork, Procore, Vectorworks, and then the AutoCAD, Box, Dropbox, Ignite, Excel, on and so forth.
Those are all
down the bottom coming soon. So they're going to show OpenGov. They're going to show you what's coming soon. So you, if you're an API developer, aren't reinventing the wheel, or if you're looking at different solutions, you can sort of keep track on here. So this is a new portal. Sorry, not a new portal, a new page showing you the integrations on where they are, what they do. So this stuff is coming. Some of this will be free. Some of it will not be free, the way I'm understanding it. But you no longer need Prime to leverage a supported integration. It might require different subscriptions, however, but you don't need that Prime part. So Prime,
it'll be hosted by the provider. So like, correct. Let's talk about the one for Construction Cloud right there. That's pretty obvious. I mean, let's just cover that one right there. Yep. So this one, you're probably going to need to pay something to Arcance to get this connection. Essentially what this did was what it always used to do, from my understanding, because I haven't used it obviously, is connect your PDFs as the old connector did. So essentially what you would do is Why you keep highlighting that?
Because I'm gonna take the risk and I'm gonna search it and hope I don't get flagged for searching a competitor. But I don't know anything about this.
Basically, what it used to do was bring your PDF from ACC into Studio Sessions.
Is it free though?
I doubt it. I mean, they have the gatekeeper, so it probably would be free if you're a partner with them. I'm assuming that's their play, right?
Yeah, there's strings attached.
Yeah, always strings attached. But yeah.
So it is what it is. But I'm curious to know more because
full transparency. I like to know everything and where it's at. I'm assuming that's how this tool works. So let me read this. Allows you to export PDFs and Autodesk build docs and BIM 360. Yeah, so it's the same connection that Autodesk used to always have till they decommissioned it. So basically what would happen is in Studio, in ACC, there's an app that used to be Bluebeam. Bluebeam used to have this themselves. Bluebeam didn't make it, Autodesk made it. And essentially what would happen is you would initiate a Studio session from Docs. In Docs, it would push the PDF, it would lock it in Docs, but it would push the PDF into Studio Session. Studio Session then would own the PDF. You could mark up all day with whoever you wanted. You could either close the session in Docs through the app, or you could close the session in Studio and it pushes the PDFs as a new version into Docs. And then also, that's it. Yeah, there is no also. That's all it does. It's the same thing that happens in Procore, because essentially what everyone's trying to do is reduce the human error of download, upload, right? Yep. One centralized area of storage. Same thing with Procore is you have documents that live in Procore. You don't want to have to download it, upload it, download it, upload it. When you're done with your sessions, you initiate a session from this third-party application. Again, Bluebeam's not developing these. They have connections to their API and encourage third-party applications or third-party folks to create those connections between the different APIs.
Correct. Yeah. So exciting stuff. Depending on what you are working on, I'm seeing a little bit more traction in this area. I don't really know a whole lot about them, but I'm hearing more and more. I know they've been around for years, so
what does Ignite do? They just store files, right?
Yeah, but it's got more security stuff. It's got some interesting things. Maybe we'll get caught up offline about these folks, and if anybody out there is using them, let us know in the comments or the chat so we could be a little bit more engaged. But so the prime part, you don't need that for these integrations. There's more coming as we see, but there's always been talk about the portal. So I know Brian Haley had mentioned on our LinkedIn chat. Yes. By the way, it's the first Tuesday of the month. Therefore, it is Civil Chat Day. Join us over there. Join me at least over there for Brian Haley's Civil Chat here in a couple hours. But Brian had asked, what's happening with the admin portal? Well, it officially has a name now. And as Michael said, we're going to get caught up with webinars and stuff with the Bluebeam team this week and next week on what all that means. We still have no idea on the cost. And I will say there is a cost.
Yes.
There is a cost. We don't know what that is yet. But there's going to be a new portal called Admin Portal Pro?
Admin Pro.
Admin Pro. So Admin
Pro. This is all official. This is all theories that I have that it's going to be called Admin Pro. I am not. Here's my safe harbor statement.
But not Admin Pro Core. Admin. It seems like appropriate name. We're just guessing.
Yeah, we're just guessing. Admin Pro. It's not like I'm reading it off of anything that's coming up on a soon date where we may be getting a demo or something.
I'm pretty sure that's public. It could be public. I don't know. If I had that cool name, I'd make that public. But there will be a cost involved. It's going to give you that whole session studio control as you had before with your Prime subscription.
Yep.
Right. So as soon as we know more, hopefully by next Tuesday, for MCR, we'll be able to talk about it more and have share with you what we can, because I know that is the piece that's missing. That's the piece that people are concerned about. I won't say flipping out yet, but like, hey, you got us all excited about the studio stuff. We're using it a lot, but Jimmy left, and now I don't know what to do with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now you got to get a hold of Bluebeam. It can take a few days, so on and so forth. But
yeah, basically we'll be seeing a lot of things this week of what their product roadmap was at Live. So if you all remember Live, they said these things are coming. We will be seeing live demos of those things to come that they said back then. So once we learn more, you will all hear it first here, as always. So please tune in next week. There will be some theories, tinfoil hats. I don't know how much we're allowed to go into things, but you know how we are. We love to let you all know as soon as possible. So,
and speaking of letting you know as soon as possible, as I stopped my screen share to flip to a different tab, I got an email saying that the new conference sessions for Unbound are live. So let's go have a little look-see in here, shall we? So these are going to be updated regularly, apparently.
Did you know Usman was a professional cricket player?
Yes, I saw that on LinkedIn.
Idea.
That he was he like doing coaching or something now?
I don't know, something, but I didn't realize that he's a professional cricket player.
What is this? What is this Power Query stuff? Doug McLean.
Doug, you didn't even say you got accepted. What's up with this? You sneaky.
Congratulations, my friend. This is awesome.
Congrats.
So we've had Doug on several times. We'll have him on several times more. If you want to learn more about Power Query, I'm pretty sure there's nobody else better to teach you. Him and Vince, a power team on Power Query. So great stuff here. So we got some keynotes, Shaping the Built World. The CEO of Nemetschek. Okay. So they're bringing out some big guns. So the Bluebeam CEO and the Nemetschek CEO. Digital tomorrow. Like, this is sort of the stuff that we were talking about earlier. Oh, just Mr. Nemetschek himself. Okay. That's exciting. Yeah, there's going to be some Bluebeam training before. So the actual conference starts on October the 1st. But there are some workshops the day before for review essentials. You take your certified exam. Is this going to be free? No cost. There you go. If you want to go take the exam, it takes you about 45 minutes or so, depending on how speedy you are. That's pretty sweet. Be a great thing to bring home to your boss, saying, "Hey, look what I did."
I think last year they did no cost, right?
Yeah, and I think there was a contest. I don't know. We met a lot of good people that day. So yeah, site docs, Arcadis's stuff, JavaScript.
AI.
What?
Liz, nice.
Very good. So sweet. ARM support, Go Canvas, workflow checkup. What? This could be interesting. Workflow consultants at Bluebeam. Oh, that's really cool. Hands-on training, measurements, and review. New IT admin tools in Bluebeam. There we go. Oh, look at that. Org Admin Pro. Huh.
Oh, look at that.
We guessed right. Here. We guessed right. Government e-plan review. Weren't we talking about this a little bit earlier? And it's in Washington, D.C. Seems like government would be a good topic to have, right? I wonder if that was intentional. So quantity takeoff. Charles Todd. We got to find one of these workflow consultants. I didn't know that they had that title.
Yeah, he was like a workflow consultant number 2. Did you see that?
Yeah,
There's a lot of Bluebeam folks.
Smart PM. Huh. There's stuff I've never heard of, and this is exciting, right? Troy. Nice.
There's Troy. What's his? Tips and tricks for maximum efficiency. Cool.
Not your average Bluebeam session. Very cool. So yeah, Troy will be there, Liz will be there, Doug will be there, Michael and I will be there.
Yes.
Hopefully you're going to be there too. Ryan Arbuckle, he's got multiple classes, right? Collaborating with Bluebeam. Ashley. I'm just clicking through some of these. I'm just excited. Like I said, this just came out between us starting and now. So, construction, that sounds scary. But for some of you that are into construction litigation, knock yourself out.
Have some fun with that one.
Trunk tools. I've never heard of that either. So there's a lot I'm looking forward to learning.
We're going to be learning a lot.
Bluebeam on the go.
So I can't wait to see what happens with the mobile app, because that was the whole thing in integrations. So hold on, Bluebeam integration. Oh, we'll go back. What's that? Bluebeam integration between Go Canvas. So I'm going to assume. No, I'm not going to assume because I want to know. I don't know how that integration is going to work. Cool.
Yeah.
Remember, Numachek bought Go Canvas. Go Canvas isn't represented in the Bluebeam ecosystem. We here at ATG do not resell, just so you're aware, Go Canvas.
Nope. City of Arvada. Huh. So yeah, case studies, breakout sessions, hands-on labs, Liz Larson again, and Isaac. Dang. Nice. So we got some familiar faces.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. I want to take that one. Yeah, a bunch of names that I recognize, bunch of names that you've seen on here before. This is incredible. I'm more excited about this than AU. Just saying. Because this is more in our ecosystem. Mastering as-built. I know I'm clicking fast, but you can go check it out. Unbound.bluebeam.com should have the list now. If you need help convincing your boss, I'm sure they have survey stuff. I'm sure they have some sort of what do you convince your boss toolkit? John from Kimley.
They have to.
Yeah.
They had that at whatchamacallit. That's like the same one I just submitted. So let's see who got the
which one?
The mastering dynamic stamps in Bluebeam JavaScript.
Liz
did.
That's 3 classes now, Liz. Dang. So far. So Bluebeam on a web browser. Yeah, this Wednesday, Thursday is going to be a busy day.
It is.
So hopefully there's Liz and Al and
is that at
Isaac
the same
again?
time for Liz? Oh, I was going to say,
no,
dang,
that's the next
she's going to
day.
be teaching so much.
You're never going to see her.
I know. Could you imagine? Liz, my heart goes out to you. 4 classes. You are going to have an awesome time.
4 classes so far.
Yeah, keep going. Let's see.
Review and Go Canvas. So mastering the tool chest. Ryan Arbuckle, he's got several. Standardize your Bluebeam. Ooh, this is a good one. Alex from Symmetry. Dashboards. Patrick. There we go. Another name we recognize.
That's hilarious because I did JavaScripts and dashboards. So I'm glad he got his comparison to mine.
Safety expert. Oh, no name on here, but don't we have a safety expert?
What's a safety expert for?
I don't know.
And then another certified exam.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, this is exciting. I want to check this out. Exam. Government plan review. Scott.
There we go, hey, Scott.
There's our hero. So that'll be a good
maybe
thing.
He knows all about this government plan system. We'll have to connect with him.
Yeah. So we've had
Scott on before. Are we planning any meetups?
We're going to have to.
We don't know what we're doing, Brian. We know we're going to have a live MCR somewhere. Peter. So we'll, I don't know. I don't want to say jump the gun that we'll make sure we'll have a meetup, but we'll definitely be doing something. So,
we'll do something. If you went to XCon, we had a pretty good meetup there.
We did.
We'll probably do that again. So Scott's got another class here. Real world wins for Bluebeam review. Nice. Steel Toe Consulting. Huh. So yeah, a lot of names I don't know as far as like the company name or the people, but a lot of names
I'm
I do.
surprised it's 3 days of full class trainings. Or is it 2 days? I'm sorry.
2 days. 2 days.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be hard to pick what to go to.
I wonder if they're going to have booth days.
What's new and what's next? Ooh. Yeah. This is awesome. I know we got a few minutes left here, but big team, smart tools, 1,037. Scott Mizak. There we go.
There you go.
Another name, former ATG guy. So yeah, we got names. We got a big party coming. Yeah, so much learning, so much to do. They said that they're still going to add more classes. This is already a lot to process. So, and notice some of these are an hour and a half long. So, yeah. So
scroll up.
You're going to get your money's worth for sure.
Because it's, what is it, on a Tuesday, and then it goes Wednesday. Wednesday's the teach. Wednesday is the opening note. Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Let me go to the sessions, because there's never a dull moment. There was a whole schedule.
Well, look how hilarious. Go back to where that was.
Which one?
No, you were somewhere. Was it about?
Oh, and just Steve Wozniak. He'll be there too.
Yeah, no big deal.
Just the co-founder of Apple. This is huge. Party with your people.
There's stuff with XCon there. Was that just to show the past?
National Building Museum. Stuff with XCon. Oh. And more.
Party with people. All work and no play. What does that say? Celebrate kickoff with an Oktoberfest welcome party. So that sounds like fun. Well, I mean, guess we're going.
Well, yeah. And
in the museum, Germany, scroll up.
What's the National Building Museum, dude.
Hey.
So, yeah. Don't tell your boss you're going to have fun, but there's going to be fun. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to see some people. Yeah. I'm excited. Excited to see all of you. Excited to learn more. Excited to have a Bluebeam conference again. Excited we're doing a live MCR from there. And yeah, it's going to be sweet. So
yeah, we're excited. We're going to bring some swag too. We're going to work on some cool stuff. We'll be there in person. I don't know what package we ended up getting as a sponsor, but we'll be there.
Say it was a silver. Yeah,
silver. Yeah, the silver.
So we will be there.
We'll be there in person, giving high fives, right?
Yeah, there's so many names.
We're going to attend classes.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. See y'all there. I'm excited. We're going to start preparing. So, depending on what time slot we do MCR, if we keep it at the same normal 8:30 Central, or if we move it around, I don't know yet.
Well, it would probably not be on the Tuesday, right? Because we'd be flying there on the Tuesday.
I don't know. I think we should probably stretch out this trip. I'm saying.
So you're saying fly there early, do 2 MCRs. Well, because the one we do won't be live, just so everyone's aware. We're not going to do it. I was talking with our marketing team. We'd probably record it.
Okay.
And then put it up on the YouTube, you know. Unless we're able to get steady connection and do it live. And
where there was... Where's the whole schedule, though? Because
it's just the session.
They got rid of it.
Yeah.
It tells you about register, but like not, I don't suppose pricing. Yeah, it doesn't tell you. Yeah, there's your Convince Your Boss toolkit. Guests recommended.
We're at time.
Yep. So there we go. We talked about a lot today. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back in my MCR seat. And thank you for PJ and Matt and all the other folks that that kept the seat warm for me. We got a lot to talk about coming up soon, and we'll see you all soon.
Yes. Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.